So, how Stallone will Stallone get? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with Judge Dredd, the 1995 original film. There's multiple iterations, so I have to specify that. So this is a Sylvester Stallone movie. I believe it's like an action movie, and I think the character has something to do with like law enforcement, but otherwise I don't really know anything about it. I do know that it is based off a comic. I know that the comic character of Judge Dredd is like from the 70s or 80s or something like that. So I do know that. I just don't know like what the plot is about and everything. So the question from the cold open remains, though: how Stallone will Stallone get in this movie? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there, just think about it. Sylvester Stallone is one of those actors who is memed a lot because the way he talks and enunciates certain things, and the way he like even like makes faces and all, like fun, like goofy faces when he talks sometimes in movies. It's like he's kind of known for that, just like Arnold is known for the voice and everything. People like play around about the voice all the time with Arnold Schwarzenegger. A lot of times with Sylvester Stallone, part of it is the face, like the way his like mouth and jaw moves to the side when he talks sometimes and yells, and the voice as well, for sure, though. When you think of Sylvester Stallone, you obviously think of Rocky and stuff, and yeah, I'm just wondering, like, how kind of goofy is this movie going to be in terms of that kind of meme-worthy content, and just how goofy is this movie going to be in general? Because I mean, like I said, I don't know the plot or anything, but excuse me, the little bit of the concept, I guess you could say, that I know, it just seems like it's gonna be something that could easily be like a parody. So I'm curious as to how silly in that regard it's gonna be. Um, but yeah, like I said, I don't really know much of anything going into this. I I'm trying to remember who played him in the remake. Was it Carl Urban? I want to say it was Carl Urban. Um, I never saw the remake either. I just remember seeing like advertisements for it. Um, yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what this is about, because it's just one of those movies that it's like you know wouldn't necessarily seem to be my thing, but you never know. It could be fun. I mean, RoboCop wouldn't have seemed to be my thing either, and I ended up enjoying those movies progressively more and more. So yeah, um, I guess there's not really much else to say in these pre thoughts though. So just as a reminder, we have a lot of other great content on the channel. Every Monday through Friday, we have a plethora of great series reactions for you to check out. On Mondays, we also do YouTube reactions that are mainly just donation rewards from viewers and subscribers like you, um, but still fun to check out. Every Saturday and Sunday, we put up movies such as this, but they are recorded previously in the week. I just upload them on the weekends, because it allows every day to have something going on for it, so for you guys to take, enjoyment in. And every Tuesday and Thursday, we are also currently doing Spider Man 2, a Let's Play on the PS5. Really enjoying that so far. Can't wait to get to more. It's going to be a blast. So, all of this being said, Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Let's get on with it. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction because, yes, we do redirect all reactions on this channel. It's mainly just to avoid copyright issues and whatnot with YouTube because YouTube, and to make sure that this channel remains strike-free and can continue to, well, just be up. But on the upside, this does mean that everyone, and yes, I mean everyone, all of you, get to see the full-length reaction for free. No Patreon, no paywalls, and not even any need to sync up your own video. You just follow the link down below and check out the reaction completely free. And then after you check it out, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black, then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain not only spoilers to the reaction, to the movie, but also just my general afterthoughts on what I felt the movie, was good with and what it might not have been good with. But all of that being said, thank you, like I said, as always, and once again, for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, I looked just again real quick, just to get, what's the word? To get an understanding again of where this was and everything. So just as a reminder that by the 2080s, the Earth kind of became in this uninhabitable wasteland. It's not exactly explained why or how. But there are these multiple mega cities that have cropped up and that contain basically the world's population within them. The entire rest of the world is barren wasteland and stuff. So that was in regards to that kind of question I had, the little bit of confusion I had there with the entire barren wasteland part. So I've kind of always heard and thought of this movie kind of in the same realm, the same kind of thought bubble as RoboCop. This was very different. And interestingly enough, was not at all what I expected. I expected something more like RoboCop because, again, I had heard them talked about in the same breath. Instead, this is a lot more sci-fi than RoboCop was. And mind you, RoboCop was still sci-fi, but this is much more so. This is much more centered around a post-apocalyptic future, while RoboCop does take place in the distant future, but is still mostly modern, I guess you could say, in terms of tech and everything. And both of them are a satire, but I will say that this one is less satisfying in that regard. So let's explain that by going to the ending. The ending of RoboCop obviously has Murphy coming to realize who he was, coming to truly regain his humanity, and at the end he refers to himself not as RoboCop but as Murphy, showing that he has become human again, that he has found that in himself again. At the end of this, he shows a little bit more emotion. Dredd, Joseph, whatever you want to call him, shows a little bit more emotion, and that's pretty much it. He knows about his entire past, he knows about his creation, that he's basically a clone of the previous Chief Justice. And it doesn't really affect him any. Like, outside of, like, getting his revenge and all, which ends up being, like, justified in the end and no one, like, cares. Everyone's on his side. He doesn't change much as a character. He doesn't go through, like, this big metamorphosis through the reveals that he finds out. Instead, it's just like, oh, he smiles a little more and shares a kiss with Hershey. That's basically it. Yay. um and that's my biggest issue with this. Is it feels like Dredd as a character, it's like they use the excuse that he was kind of like made this way and everything, but even Hershey like tells him, it's like you can't just blame the way you were made and everything. It's like you chose to be like this. The problem is that would hold weight as a statement here if at the end he did change and become different and better. But the fact that he doesn't, it's like, okay, so what was the point? It's like he's just basically choosing to go back to the status quo as if nothing's different. He hasn't changed really any in terms of personality and character. I don't understand. Now I looked things up in between, as I tend to do, and apparently this film is not very well liked. In fact, it's called one of Sylvester Stallone's worst films. People like praised certain aspects of it, like the action and whatnot, but as a movie, I guess it just didn't do well. And Sylvester Stallone's, I guess, acting was really, like, not liked in this one. But honestly, I didn't have much of an issue with that kind of stuff. Like, I was fine with that. I felt they did it fine. I felt like the world building was fine. I just, had a little issue remembering something from that opening crawl. And I thought the acting was fine. It was even one of Rob Schneider's better performances, and that's saying a lot considering it's Rob Schneider. Dude's annoying as fuck. And racist as fuck. But we're not going to get into that here. Yeah, it's just, it's wild. The kind of shit, that you could kind of see made fun of here. Like I said, like RoboCop, it is a satire. Definitely on the over-militarized nature of the American justice system and its reliance on not exactly the most actual just actions. Justice isn't really, like, focused on as much as control and whatnot. And so you definitely see aspects of that here. And you could even, like, argue that the idea of, like, Joseph and Rico being clones of the Chief Justices is a take on, like, basically the leaders in charge turning those under them into basically clones of themselves, manipulating and just teaching them to be just as corrupt and unjust and fucked up as they are, whether that be the military, the police force, etc., etc. You definitely see where it's going at with a lot of this. But it just doesn't feel like it gets it across as well as RoboCop did. RoboCop did much better with the commentary there. it felt like easier to digest and handle and understand. While in here, it's like it's very much there, but it's just not as well executed. And like I said, I thought the acting was good, the action was good, all of that kind of stuff I thought was good. I had no issue with any of that. But some of the like characters just felt like they needed to be fleshed out more. Part of that comes down to the fact that this movie was like an hour and a half long, and I feel like it needed to be longer. Like it just needed to be longer. And on top of that, like Ferguson's character, Rob Schneider, why was he in this? Like it felt like he was put in this just for like comic relief, but he wasn't even funny. He was just kind of there. He technically helped out on a couple of occasions, but that easily could have been worked around. That he wasn't needed. He really was not needed as a character. He was annoying, honestly. He wasn't, again, it was one of Rob Schneider's better roles too, but he was still very annoying and very unlikable, and was just kind of there. I feel like it would have been better if it was just Hershey that was there with him the entire time. I feel like they had better chemistry. They worked better off of each other. I feel like it would have just been more entertaining, more sensical, etc., etc. But instead, she didn't have nearly enough screen time, and she really did not have nearly enough chemistry with Stallone. Like, they barely had any chemistry. There wasn't a lot of actual, like, relationship built. So the kiss at the end is honestly unearned. It's just, why are they suddenly a couple at the end? There was nothing building up to that. I don't get it. Yeah, overall it's not as much my thing, but I wouldn't say it's a bad movie. I would say that this movie is just kind of okay. It has its issues, for sure, but the idea is there. And I feel like this could be done better, which makes me interested in the remake. Um, I'm wondering if the remake handles this better. There's a lot of people, a lot of fans of this original film, I do know, that have said, I've heard say in the past, that they really didn't like the remake, that it didn't capture the spirit or whatever. But obviously, as I've said it in the past, it's like it's all subjective, and just because other people didn't like it doesn't mean I'm not going to like it. I mean, and vice versa. The same goes for the other way around. I mean, people love the It remakes, and I hated them. I thought they were terrible. But people praise the shit out of those. Especially the first one. So, yeah, it's very clearly a difference on views there. It's subjective. And I felt that this movie was just kind of okay. It had a lot going for it, and it just didn't capitalize on it properly. And there were a lot of things that just I don't feel like worked as well as they thought they did. But again, I'm not like saying it's because of Stallone or anything. I thought he did a good job. That's not one of my issues. But yeah, yeah. Uh, just as a reminder, we do have a lot of other great content on the channel for you to check out. Every Monday through Friday, we have a plethora of great series reactions. We also, on Mondays, do YouTube reactions, mostly just donation rewards from viewers and subscribers like you, but they're still fun and very interesting to check out. Every Saturday and Sunday, we do movies, just like this. They're recorded during the week, but I put them up on the weekend so that every day has something going on. We're also currently Let's Playing through Spider-Man 2 on the PS5. I'm having a great time with that so far, so hopefully that continues to be awesome entertainment. But in the meantime, tell me what you thought of Judge Dredd down in the comments below. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.